He's not going anywhere. Oh, God. Hey up, it's your northern lad, and we have actually managed to stave off the onslaught of Brazil. The very, very weak onslaught of warriors, a single horseman, and some archers that didn't actually do any damage at all to Marrakesh. We are on the counter-offensive. We got some archers that we're going to start moving in as I speak. And this lovely little ancient squad, who has honestly paid for himself plenty of times over, just from simple principle of not dying. We do have this other warrior here too who's done quite well, but he's not going anywhere until he's got his iron upgrade. Now what I'm thinking is this lad, he's not full health yet, none the like, but we actually do have to scout out a little bit more. And look at that! We found Lake Victoria. No wonder Yerevan's so happy. They got so many people. Never mind, I don't know what I'm talking about there. You know, probably, if I'm honest with you, considering the borders grow so slowly for all the city-states, chances is it only just encroached upon it. But something I bloody well hate about Civilization 5, and I like this game very much, don't get me wrong, but something I don't like is city-states that encroach on every single world natural wonder that are in the map. So if you want Lake Victoria, tough titties, Yerevan's got it now. And Yerevan definitely needs a +6 food tile in the base. That being said, depending on circumstances, we could settle a city nearby and use a great general to pinch it from them. I mean, do you really need it, Yerevan? I might pinch those gems while I'm at it, lad. And yet I still want to maintain a friendship with them, because I sure do like the culture that they put out. Seems to me, though, like nothing's going to be taking out our composite bowman. But let's not tempt fate and just creep around the periphery until we're sure we know what we're up against. Rounds are definitely getting a little bit quieter since we're not being encroached on. But would you look at that? Nottingham has been settled way too close for comfort. Now, I'm not sure what the second city of England is in Civ 5. I'm pretty sure it's York, which means that Nottingham is one of the third or fourth cities, which means that England isn't lacking as much as I was originally thinking. They're just not encroaching upon us. 15 defense for a one-citizen city is diabolical. That being said, they are built on a hill. And if I'm also honest with you, it looks pretty ripe for the taking. It's got access to 2 oases. It's got ocean access, which we don't have at all at this point. And it does create a nice little buffer zone between us and England anyway. It will be another puppet city, so it won't be fully effective. But England, I don't want them getting any bright ideas about coming too close to us. They're only one unit in range so far that we can actually see, but even so, I'm going to upgrade my archer to a composite bowman just to be on the safe side. Now I'm deliberating whether to pull all my men back to the other side, going back and forth, up, down, left, right. Because as soon as I clear out one group of units, another civilization's group of units are on the horizon. But for now, Marrakesh has completed their shrine. Praise be, finally. Gotta reset our production tiles. Pretty sure that +5 food per turn is pretty decent. And once they grow, they might go to the +4 here. But after that, then hopefully they'll actually go for mines and we'll get some decent production in here. In the meantime, I am going for library. I said we were going for library. We got to get some libraries. We need a national college, for Christ's sake. We're getting dumber by the day. And now we can finally move our scout out of this base here. I just realised I took Oh. My caravan's going to die, isn't he? You know, what would be an absolutely splendid thing to happen would be if the Ottomans were to clear out this barbarian swordsman who's encroaching on me caravan. Bastard. Like, I can't be doing with that. Like, I was thinking, shall I move my scout out to get a bit closer? But what I might actually do is have to bait them with my worker. Because then at least he'll move out at bloody way, because he's going to move in and he'll pillage him if he's standing in that tile. I mean, I'm hoping that this warrior can do enough. 2 warriors with barbarian damage bonus against it. Please take it out. If it don't, then he can have me worker. Temporarily, of course, because my scout will just take it back. Praise be. Let's hope. Yeah, you just rest and shut up. Swordsman, I don't want you too far away from me other units, but I think you should be safe on this hill in rough terrain. There we go. Just a warrior. Naught to worry about. Right. We have, in range, 1 warrior, 1 archer. I don't have any counter ability if they were to come in and start trying to tech him. So I'm going to move him back out of range for time being. And once this Persian archer moves his fat ass, then we can just get a little bit closer to what I presume to be Rio de Janeiro. Could be Sao Paulo, could be Brasilia, Fortaleza, Belo Horizonte. I don't know how many cities they've settled at this point, but I mean, considering they're declaring war on us, I mean, there's not enough space for too many cities. So let's open pray that it is Rio. People who like to smile the worst. Yeah, that's what I said. The W was upside down in my brain, and an R came out of nowhere. The people who like to smile the most. Goethe. Goethe? Goethe? Because you know the H is usually silent in other languages. And that is not an English name. So Goethe has completed his greatest work. The list of people who like to smile the most. Montezuma is so chipper. He couldn't be happier if he tried. And on the other end, hey up, would you look at that? I'm not the most unhappiest of any of the civilizations. That is actually... I'm pleased with myself, is all I can say. Kashmir the Third, you're as happy as I could be. And Suleiman, I mean, I can't start to wonder why you're not so happy, lad. Is it something to do with you losing your most luxury resource yielding city? Other than your capital, of course. And Ella, I pinched one of your capital's luxury resources anyway. You've got marble though, lad. You got crabs. Who doesn't love a nice bit of crabbage? Clearly the Ottomans don't. It's not enough. Right, so this Persian archer has started to move away. Lad, we're gonna... Well, you're not gonna take him out, actually. So, yeah, give him plenty of damage. It's what he deserves. He's been a naughty boy, staying alive for so long around us. And again, moving around a flank, getting in position, getting a bit closer. We are waiting for our iron that we've traded to, I think it was Austria previously, to come back to us, because we've got 2 iron here. We've got to wait for our borders to spread out to this iron here, unless I annex it. And I do have enough happiness to withstand that now. Buy the tiles and get 6 iron. But I mean, where am I going to find 6 swordsmen to wear the iron? I got no production to spur. I've got Messa Verde taking its sweet ass time. And I got a library that's probably not going to be built until the modern age. Well, England's not encroaching anymore, is he? I think they were just scouting out. You know, England, you're very docile. You're not really living up to your society's expectations in real life. Oh, no. Germany. Berlin. What do you mean? Listen, Socrates, you said that, 6,000 years ago, or something like that, and it is as relevant today as it has ever been in the history of existence. So thank you so much for your knowledge. Right, so the Ottomans really did take out that swordsman, and hopefully they'll take out this encampment too. It's a city-state quest, though. Question is, who wants it? Which lumpy koalas, isn't it? Of course it is. It's the culture city-state. Shame. But whilst I'm here, look at this. They want you to find the lands of Arabia. They want you to find the lands of Persia. Now, I think if you complete these, you get about 45 culture per turn, which means you get a few good turns of getting their benefit. So, some culture, some food. Problem is, if I want to get these, I either have to find the bloody bastards, or I actually have to pay for an embassy. And I don't have enough money to be doing that. You need to actually be in surplus, which not exactly in surplus right now, am I? Paying for too many units. But I did make a city connection, so, does that not counteract that? Oh, plus 0.25 coins per turn. Absolutely. Paying +1 for every single one of these roads per turn, so +4 in total. That absolutely pays for it. I am so glad I decided to invest all that money and time and energy into building that road. I guess the Romans knew something I don't about building roads everywhere. But there you go. So looking at our technologies, again, we are not settled on coast yet, so I am going to neglect the sailing route until I absolutely secure some nice coastal cities. Are we getting close to civil service? Maybe not, actually. I said we're getting close. We got 3 more technologies to actually research before we can actually get close to it. So instead, between horseback riding and currency, we're going to go for currency, because horseback riding, horsemen are pretty good, but we don't have any horses. We don't need to build a stable, because we don't have any horses. We do have some here, don't get me wrong. But again, we got to wait for Ankara to spread. So meanwhile, because we don't have any horses, we don't have any horses. So that's why I'm not getting horse riding, okay? Are you getting the picture? Thank you. Right, once again, creeping around at periphery. And now he may be in a bit more trouble. But he does have double cover. He is in rough terrain. And I don't see anyone else who's going to come in. If there were an horseman, he could cause us some problems. But I reckon he'll be right. This warrior might actually be able to come on flank too. I am glad I gave him cover. The cover's clearly paying for itself. You can do a bit of scouting, and then I'll bring the great general back around. We might actually be able to scout out what is around Lake Victoria to see how difficult or easy it is to try and take it for ourselves. 5 damage! What were I worried about? He's in yellow elf now, so he's, within the second third of the elf bars. But, he's fine. And look at that. We've clearly found what the edges of the Shoshone look like. The absolute land grabbers that they are. The absolutely overpowered, unfair advantage that the Shoshone get right from out the gate, right from the word go, are right there. We have found them, but we don't know where the capital is yet. And would you look at that? They got an higher score than most people. Not as much as Arabia, though. We're friends with them. Oh, and Kashmir too, actually. And Persia. So everyone that's friendly with us, actually, are the highest scorers, which is pretty good for us. Let's hope they stay that way. But it seems that, diplomatically speaking, because we haven't been too much of a warmonger. Yes, we declared war on the Ottomans, but that was like turn 5. We will be okay. And would you look at that? Rio's right there. I called it. Do you have other cities, Brazil? Oh, you're not going to tell me, are you? Because you're Can you shut up? Because he still wants us. However, I can see up here that there is one more city, so we can take Rio without having to worry about the whole world saying, how dare you wipe someone off face of Earth? And of course, my ancient squad can upgrade, which we are going to do right now. Problem is here, like they got 4 archers, I should say, a pikeman, a warrior, and 19 defense. So if we click on one of our warriors, the damage he'll do is 20 fewer versus 36. He'll do 20 fewer versus 32. The archers will do 23, which again, pretty decent. But we've only got 2, and we have to take out all these units whilst being under city fire. It's unlikely that we'll be able to do that without taking even more casualties, and I have spent all of the casualties that I'm willing to take in this game really early. And we got 2 really valuable melee units to speak of. I'm not losing him. He says that, but I mean, he's a bit cursed at the moment, isn't he? And yes, I'm referring to myself in third person. Now, put this lad on ill because he won't take too much damage from being in rough terrain, and he can plonk a lot of arrows down on these 2 bastards right here. Seems like the play. Gonna build at quarry in Marrakesh finally. They'll have marble, and we could use the marble to maybe build the Petra in Marrakesh, because that extra plus 15 really does help out quite a lot. See, it's 17 damage on this composite bowman from this one archer, and then 14 from the other. I mean, he's still in green health, but he has taken in total about 31 damage, so he could only do that one more time before we got to retreat him and heal him up. But we'll get at least 1 promotion in process. And then the Ancient Squad will be able to take out at least one of them. No dramas. Don't want to put him in too quickly, though. He can only take so much himself, so I'm going to heal him up whilst I wait. They both got cover protection, so I'm going to shoot the one closest to centre. And then I think I will bring back around my other archer. We have found the coast on the south side of the island. Seems to be a Pangaea map. Considering we have found all the other civilizations and we seem to be on one landmass. I'm not sure if I mentioned that last time, but because we are on random map, we never know what we're going to get. But Pangaea seems to be a pretty decent start to this series, because if we ever go to like Fractal or tiny little islands, that's going to be a completely different story if we're not a maritime civilization. Which Morocco, not really much of a maritime civilization, is it? They like the caravans, they like the trade cogs, but not exactly going to be sailing the 7 seas, are they? And I said trade cogs, I am aware that's from Age of Empires, I do apologise. Back in day, I did like to play Age of Empires 1 and 2, and the trade vessels by sea are called trade cogs. Here, I think they're just called trade ships, and I don't know, there's something about the word cog that just tickles me pickle. Right, you. I think you're going down. You won't go down this round, but you're going. Look at that. He's so close. And yet he'll live to fight another day. You just watch, it'll happen. It's so annoying. I'll give you accuracy 1. But we're not gonna... No, not gonna do it. Be smart. Be smart, lad. Göbekli Tepe has finally been built on turn 104. And before, I didn't mention that the Great Pyramids were built by the Ottomans, of all people, which I am pretty happy about, truth be told, because then, when I take it, I'll have probably one of the most powerful ones in game for when I'm be taking all my cities. But would you look at that? Mesa Verde has actually been built in our capital. And this is our first wonder too, which, heck, I mean, in Immortal difficulty, by the game that I'm playing, quite happy about that. So because it is a mod wonder, we don't have the announcer reading out the quote that we have down here by Lewis Mumford. So I'll be doing it. The city is a fact in nature, like a cave, a run of mackerel or an ant heap. But it is also a conscious work of art, and it holds within its communal framework many simpler and more personal forms of art. Mind takes form in the city, and in turn, urban forms condition mind. Lewis Mumford. And as we previously mentioned, Mesa Verde gives you +1 food from all desert tiles, including floodplains, and plus 50% great people generation in this city, which is way too overpowered. And I promise thee, air quotations, that I won't be abusing the buggery out of that. Must be built next to or on a desert, which we are. That being said, I mean, how much great person production do we have? 0 right now. Probably pay dividends and later on, but right now, not so much. We'll change back to regular focus because we're going to grow. Especially if we ever spread to that oasis over there. And we will send Petra to the other city. I don't want to stack them up too much. But Rabat, you truly did it. And I'm very proud of you. But now we have completed that wonder. I don't want to get into the trap of obsessing over wonders over and over and over again. Because that's something that I tend to do when I play Civilization 5 on my own, is just try and build as many wonders as possible. It's a problem. I do need help. But instead, we're now going to decide to play a bit more logically and probably build our monument now. Because we will get legalism eventually, but that'll go to the amphitheatre or the opera house or the whatever comes next. And we do need that culture. We do need to get professional army and unlock the entirety of honour, because then we get coins for every single unit we slaughter. And that really does help us out, because our economy is in a shambles. But we do have enough, don't get me wrong, to be able to pay for some embassies to make Yerevan and Vancouver like us just a little bit more. So Arabia, be a good lad. That's way too much money. Would you give it 25 coins up front for your embassy? Because then that's less than 1 coin per turn for 30 turns. No, it's more to pay for it up front. No, there you go. Cheers, lad. And now, so next turn, that will give us plus 45 for Vancouver and Yerevan. You want the same. Right, lad. Give me your embassy. Whoa. You know, that sounds really aggressive for someone who's friendly with me. And we'll have to wait for benefit for that next turn. But we'll just check and see. Mecca, capital of Buddhism. They got gold, pearls. No river, but they are coastal, so they get some good trade. And of course, their religion will spread really, really fast and hard. Persia, Persepolis capital. I'll be changing that. Actually, no, I won't, because ancient Persia's capital was probably Persepolis. It's way more ancient than the Ottomans anyway. But the Persians have 2 wonders here that look pretty tasty. I'm thinking one is probably the Parthenon or the Temple of Artemis, and the other is whatever temple gives you plus 15 damage against cities. I can't remember the name. It'll come to me, and then I'll feel like a bloody idiot. You know what? I'll just look here. Statue of Zeus. Jesus Christ. They got the statue of Zeus. I knew that. I don't know why you were doubting me for a second. Anyway, composite bowman will heal up there. I'm going to rest. No, actually, I'm going to move my great general to go closer to be swordsman, because they need all the damage they can get. And I think, because this lad's full health, I'm going to move him in. See what's up. Because he's going to take a bit of damage here. Let's not get any bright ideas. But he won't die. Unless he does die. And then you can laugh. No, I don't think it is, lad. Because then you're just going to give me Buddhism. And whilst I'm not too bothered about religion, 2 can still be found. 2. On turn 105. On Immortal difficulty. With 12 civs. So, look, it's anyone's game. If I actually committed to faith right now, I would probably be able to get a religion. Shut up. Now, question is, though, are there any good beliefs left? Probably. I do like my tithe. I do like plus 1 coins per 4 followers of religion. But then I have to start building faith buildings. It's an old thing. Is it worth it? I don't think so. If it comes, it comes. If it don't, it don't. Now, Vancouver, we have the influence. Lovely. Plus 2 food per turn. They were our friends before, if I remember correctly. But it was only 35 influence per turn. So, really, I may have wasted 2 coins per turn, because we're going to lose this as fast as we got it. He'll give us some food in capital for a little bit before he says, see you later. And then Yerevan's given us plus 3 culture per turn. And we'll have that for 5 turns. All right. So 15 culture yield. So that's kind of like paying for my culture. 1 coin for every 0.5 culture per turn. Not too bad, actually. Let's hope there's another city-state quest that I can get, that I might be able to nudge that to alliance. And then maybe they can actually start attacking England for us. Looking at you, Vancouver. And clearly I didn't need to use this lad for baiting anyway. Not that he was baiting. I mean, Swordsman's gone. We're still trading, doing pretty alright for ourselves. We really have bounced back, haven't we? And now I'm going to send you for horses. Only thing is, though, is that I still think about the fact that we used to have like plus 17 coins per turn, and then we spent half of it on Austria with a luxury resource. If we're still trading that to them, then we might have to worry about the fact that once that trade has finished, they will start looking at us again. And I don't want that to happen. But they are clearly still at war. They're not actually doing any damage to them. They're kind of just farting around, which does annoy the crap out of me because I'm paying you to do a job and you're not doing it. You're still just hanging around my borders. But hopefully, if they like us enough, then they won't have to want to decide to start declaring war on us again. So I don't know, if we keep trading or doing something, then... You know, every time you say that, it sounds like... Can you let me speak? Every single time she says that, it sounds like she's saying... This is really juvenile of me, but it does like she's saying fart, fart.
Fart, fart.
Now, I know she's speaking German. I do know it, but it's all I can think about. I'm sorry. 25 damage on that archer down there. They're really not doing that much damage. Like, I thought that he would take, I don't know, 50 damage from all of this, but he got hit by, I think, one archer and then the city. And now he's got his own promotion, Ancient Squad 1, once again. And he's got 2 covers, and I think now, because of our situation, I'm going to give him medic. He'll stay in the bushes. He'll provide health to our other units, whilst he himself basically just absorbs all the hits. Let's hope that this doesn't go wrong. I say that every single time I move my units, but I'm just a little cautious after the last round we had, where we lost so many units just to take Ankara. 62 damage versus 15. I mean, heck, my swordsmen doing pretty well. But at this rate, we're not taking any cities, are we? Let's see if this will work. I need my archers to take out all stragglers, heal up plenty, and then start attacking the city. Idern actually gives us more coins per turn than Istanbul does. That's interesting. This encampment, I mean, it's gone. Like, I know it still looks like it is, but because it's in the fog of war, we haven't scouted it recently. We can't be sure. However, the tell that I like to use is the fact that it used to be a city-state quest and now it's not. And the only way that would ever happen is if it is taken out. So I think I safely can trade through the... No city-state wants to trade. So we're going to send it to Idern because we get plus 6 coins per turn and plus 3 science. That's probably the best trade deal in the history of trade deals. Maybe ever. Right, this is good. They don't have enough damage to overpower us with all that cover promotion. He's taken 15 so far. 20 damage. 20 damage! And he's going to heal 15 of it because he's a medic. Or should I say he's going to heal someone else 15 because he's a medic. He himself will eventually get 15 if we give him one more promotion down at medic tree. Bit of a back and forth here, isn't it? But I don't know what this lad's trying to achieve. I mean, he's fighting a losing battle, uphill struggle and such the like. And now we're going for horses. Finally, we get to ride some horses around all day. Who do you think you're kidding, Your Majesty? You do nothing. You declare war on us, you do nothing, and you expect profit. This is not a good business model. Like, you're saying if I don't accept this, then all of a sudden you'll have an army and you'll come after me. Big, fat, no. Right, so the net loss after healing is 8, because it heals 10 and then he loses 18. I guess we're delayed a little bit more because this lad decided to use his promotion to give himself 50 health. So again, this lad can't stop doing this for a little bit longer. Annoying as hell, but at least he's farming up plenty of XP. Currency has been researched. Currency, excellent for actually getting us more money. Petra is something I'm interested in, of course, as I mentioned. However, we have a mod wonder called Kelderall, which I believe is in Finland, one of the Scandinavian countries far up north. And it's basically like a community built into the tundra, or at least that is what it represents in the game, because if you get it, it's basically Tundra Petra. You get +1 production, +1 food for every tundra and snow tile worked by city. You get a great engineer point, and you get +4 culture. It's really nice. Still, it's interesting because it's not as nice as Petra, and yet it still means that you can settle out here a bit more. And that's another reason why I got the improved resource tiles too, because then when you get your snow, when you get your ills, it means that settling into snow, you get one city to do that. I really don't think that's overpowered. Composite Bowman, he's got a promotion. I tell thee what, I'll give him an upgrade name. We'll give him Classic Archer 1. No 1. I'll have to make it condensed like that. Classic Archer 1. Question is, do I give him double accuracy or do I give him cover? Now, this is a bit more difficult than the melee units, because the melee units, they're just eating it all the time. Whereas archers, you have to move into range to do damage, which means you can get ranged out yourself. But that can be countered by being in rough terrain. And then if you get enough promotions, you get +1 range, and then you can just snipe cities from miles away, out of range of them. It is top tier. So with that being said, we're going to go down accuracy. After 1 more accuracy, we'll get +1 range, and then it just snowballs from there. Be able to take Rio a lot more easily. And he's going to survive this onslaught because, again, composite bowman and he's in rough terrain. But we're inching closer towards civil service. I'm actually going to go for horseback riding now because we do have horses in Ankara. Ankara, the lankiest city you'll ever see. All north and south, no east and west. Until he goes for iron, which I've been waiting for ages. Right, let's continue to help Marrakesh grow. We're going to get more wheat. And then we will renew Rabat. We do need to work at stone, fix this farm that we're pillaged, build more farms so that we can actually make full advantage of Mesa Verde. But I mean, right now it's got +9 food per turn. Not actually that much, considering that we do have Sun God, and Marrakesh has +7 food per turn from these 2 wheat tiles, really doing some heavy lifting. We don't even have the granary either. That might actually be a play. Once we finish off our library, getting a granary might work. If I change this to, the library goes from 31 turns to 11 turns. We grow a fair bit slower, but we really are mindful about happiness management, aren't we? Because yeah, the more citizens we have, the more science we get, but if we're too unhappy, then we slow everything down. Whereas if we get a library from production being faster, we get more science without the cost of more citizens and more unhappiness. So I am going to change it to production focus once more. I mean, we're still working the wheat. So if we work at wheat and then build a mine on here, it's going to be a top tier city. Right, let's see if you can do some damage. Strategic resource penalty. Look at that. That's really good. Going to damage him proper like. 20 damage. He's not going down. He's not going down. He's fine. Every round's a risk. Every battle's a gamble. We're just hoping that the AI is not intelligent enough to make smart decisions even if they're on Immortal difficulty. Oh no, no longer friends with Vancouver. And we're losing grasp on Yerevan. But we've just hit a golden age. Congratulations, your citizens have been happy with your rule for so long that the Empire enters a golden age. And with that, every single tile that has a coin production gives us +1 coins per turn. We get an extra bit of growth in all of our cities. Oh, it says it right here. Why was I trying to remember what it was when it says it right up here? +1 coins per turn, 20% production empire-wide, and culture increases by 20%. We got +10 happiness per turn as well. I can't actually remember where that comes from. It's probably the marble. Either which way, happiness for days. However, now we have this lad here who needs to get lost. And we're not going to have enough damage to take him out. That is super annoying. He's going to pillage that. I know he is. Maybe I can bait him out without having to pillage. Right, he's still got more health than the ancient squad who's doing all the healing for us. I kind of want them to swap out. Because he's providing healing, but he's doing all that damage. And you'd want the medic to be the one that is not healing and instead doing damage so that you can actually provide healing to other people, if that makes any sense. However, looking at this, he's not going anywhere. I was saying that, and then I started to panic a little bit because the pikemen started to attack, but oh God! Wow. Looks like I'm playing it a little bit too close for comfort. This is high stakes gameplay, lads. Risking to go to 1 health. That may have been the dumbest play I've done so far, but he's still alive. Ancient Squad 4, you clearly don't know when to die, and I'm happy for it. Now the question is, which promotion do we give him? Because this lad we're giving the medic, but this lad we were like, we'll give him +2 shock because how many melee units do we have? We'll go down that line so we can get blitz and march. So we're going to give him shock 3. But really, this whole process has been shocking because he's actually survived so much damage. We're going to pull him back now. Going to get him well and truly out of range of any more damage because we don't want to be taking any more risks. It's a shame we couldn't take out any of the units in process. We did take out some archers from our own archers, but I suppose that is melee units in a nutshell. Monument's been completed in Rabat, and now we're going to change our focus to granary.
Yay!
Because granary is something that you do need eventually. I mean, we're going to get +1 wheat from here. And then also it's good for trading food. But 12 turns away, not ideal. But it's something that we do need. So I'm going to go for granary in capital. And then I might revisit starting to produce some more military units. Because once we get honour, we'll get quicker production of barracks, armories, military academies. And then upgrades is cheaper. So once we get that, it means it saves turns on building at barracks, which we'll do hopefully in all of our cities that aren't puppeted. So we can get the heroic epic because that will help us out in the war effort. And then hopefully, just hopefully, we can annex Ankara, take at iron, and so we can get more swordsmen on the front line. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Although I won't keep you in suspense, I'll take this lad back. Goodbye, and thank you. No, I ain't giving you back to the Ottomans. Well, that will properly do it now. Thank you so much for watching. Look forward to seeing what's happening next episode, approaching Brazil, and also encroaching on England, who's been encroaching on us for too long. And with that, I've been your northern lad, and but would it tall on way out, would you? Ta love.